I have taken roll, and we are recording and ready to go.
All right, we'll call the May 3rd, 2021 Planning Commission meeting to order. And since roll's already been taken, I guess we can get started.
Don, if we could, excuse me.
Yeah,
I'd like to amend the agenda if we could.
okay.
I would like to propose that we remove item number 6 from discussion. I haven't had time to look at this. We just got this yesterday morning, it was yesterday morning. I haven't had a chance to read this, and I am not prepared for discussion.
I don't have a problem with that. How about Aaron and Eric? We got.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah, more than happy to talk about it next month. That's fine.
All right. Do we need to take a vote on that or anything, or just scratch it?
You can make my motion. Yeah, I'll do it if I can get support.
All right. We got support from Jim, so all those in favor give us a thumbs up, I guess. We're back to thumbs up again. All right. So we're gonna skip now item number 6 on the agenda tonight for the next meeting, so everybody has more of a chance to look at it. And with that, I guess we'll get started with the minutes of the Planning Commission meeting held on April 5th, 2021. I'll take a motion for approval unless someone has changes or corrections or comments.
Move approval.
Support.
Right, motion and support to approve the minutes from the last meeting. All those in favor can give me a thumbs up. Any opposed? I don't see anybody, so. All right, with that, we'll move on to number 4, a site plan review for 300 East Warwick Drive. Mid-Michigan Medical Center Gratiot is proposing to build a new canopy and entrance for outpatient services with adjacent parking modifications. The plan also includes demoing a portion of the B wing, construct a new 2-story stairwell, and build a new 2-lane drive around the south of the hospital. The new drive will connect the west parking lot with the east parking lot. The property is zoned B2, general business. Hospitals are permitted to use the B2 district. The scope of the project requires a site plan approval by the Planning Commission. So with that, we'll let Eric fill us in and then go from there.
Thanks, Don. We're going to break these up into those 2 projects. We'll start with the outpatient entrance. As you mentioned, it'll be part of that project is removing that blue outpatient entrance awning that is there and replace that with a canopy that will extend over the current parking lot there for a drop-off location for the outpatient. The parking lot will then be converted to a complete handicap accessible parking only. The canopy is roughly 1,379 square feet. The new outpatient entry waiting greeting area is around 1,400 square feet. There will also be a connector from the new entry, outpatient entry up to the emergency area entry. The parking, like we mentioned, currently there's 13 regular and 6 ADA spaces. Those will be 11 ADA spaces after the reconfiguration. Obviously, they have plenty of parking to the west in the parking lot there for the remaining visitors and users of that section of the hospital. The 2 memorial gardens that are in that general area will be relocated and redone. Each one will have 2 benches and a variety of plants, shrubs, and trees in those new gardens. There will also be a utility mechanical enclosure installed around the existing equipment that is just adjacent to the south of where the new entrance will be to make that look a little nicer. And then the lighting plan that they're showing, this is from the whole project, shows to meet our ordinance. The improvements proposed will improve the hospital operation as well as the aesthetics of the patient experience as they enter the hospital for services. From there, I'll just let Dave did his review too and let him speak to this portion of the of the project.
All right, thanks, Eric. Dave?
Yeah, I apologize if I lose you guys. I've been going in and out of internet connection, so bear with me if you lose me. If it's for any duration, Eric can finish it up. But reviewed the stormwater. The canopy itself really has nothing much to do with us. That's pretty straightforward. The southeast portion, they're doing some improvements to their storm sewer. None of that's really city related, and they tie into our system. Eventually gets to that, but they don't propose anything new along our systems. I want the contractor to be aware that there is a 12-inch public water line that runs east and west just at the south end of that project. I'd like to make sure that that is accessible if there's any kind of issues or anything like that. And I want to make sure that the valves are always accessible and we can get equipment on them if need be, if there's any kind of an issue with a break. Stormwater should be reviewed by the Drain Commission because that does tie into a county drain once it goes to the north up there. So that was really the only comments that I had, as well as soil erosion if necessary, but they'll want to talk to the county to find out if they'll need soil erosion permits. And that's all if there's any questions.
All right, pretty simple and straightforward, so.
Don,
Anybody else?
Don, we do have representatives of the project here, so if they want to provide any extra information on this this portion of the project, that'd be fine.
All right, anybody got any comments or questions for them while we're?
Hi, I just wanted to introduce myself. This is Curt Penny, the architect for the project. And again, happy to answer any questions that you guys might have.
I don't really have any questions. It looks to me pretty straightforward, and I think a lot of people are going to really like being able to get east and west around the backside to get from one parking lot to the other. I think that's going to be a real plus too. So.
Okay, Don, I'll just jump into the service drive then there around the back south side there. Like we mentioned, they will be removing about 3/4 of B wing to make way for the 2-lane driveway through there. In its place, there will be a 11-foot by 22-foot 2-story stairwell attached to B wing after the demo, and brand new exterior treatments. So make it look much more modern on the south side there. Obviously, we said the 24-foot driveway, so plenty of space to have two-way traffic within that portion of the project. New sidewalks will be installed for reconnection to all the entrances. Parking we reconfigured just adjacent to B wing, and just an estimate there. Looking at the drawings, we'll lose about 11 spaces, but there's plenty of spaces to the west and still to the east for parking. Landscaping, they're proposing multiple different trees and plants to green that up through there. And of course, like we mentioned before, the lighting plan does meet our zoning code. And obviously, this is to improve their operations and efficiencies of the building, the exterior treatments, improve the aesthetics to the south. And Dave mentioned the comments he had from a stormwater and city public utility side of things.
Thanks, Eric. Anybody else got any comments or questions or anything?
I'll comment. I'm Tyler Curley. I'm with Rowe as far as the civil engineering. I'm filling in for Troy, who couldn't make the meeting tonight, but I can answer any questions.
Didn't sound like we got too many questions. I think it looks pretty straightforward what you're going to do. So,
Sounds good.
so with that, I guess I'll entertain a motion to approve the site plan if everybody's in agreement.
So moved.
Support.
All right, got motion and support to approve the site plan for 300 East Warwick Drive. All those in favor, give me a thumbs up. And anybody not?
Could you put me down possibly as an abstention? I just feel like because I'm on both the local hospital board and the Mid-Michigan board in Midland, that just from a conflict of interest.
Okay, I think we can do that. Can't we, Eric? Or Eric?
Yes. Yep. That's a direct connection to the project, so that would be fine.
Absolutely. I have him down as an abstention.
All right. Well, with that, it looks like it passed. So thank you, everyone, on that one.
All right.
All right.
Thank you, everyone. We appreciate it.
Yep. Well, good luck.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Moving on to the next one, the site plan review for 903 Michigan Avenue. It looks like Avalon and Tahoe are doing more. Avalon and Tahoe Manufacturing is proposing to construct additional parking for the staging of boats ready for delivery along 903 Michigan Avenue, and also construct additional employee parking at 900 Michigan Avenue. Review and site plan, review and approve the site plan is the goal tonight. So we'll let Eric fill us in on what's going on there, and from there on.
Okay. And we do have on the line Jim Blick and Chuck Griffith. I'm sorry, Chuck's on the other project. I'm sorry. Chuck's been on all the Avalon projects. I apologize. Jim's on for this project. As you mentioned, there's two different proposals here. One is for the industrial use on the 903 side for truck boat staging to get the boats off for delivery. The surface, my computer's freezing up here, folks. The pad on the 903 side is for staging and industrial use things. So what we're proposing there is an under the crushed concrete, crushed stone for the subsurface, and the millings for the surface to be used. And then across the street, obviously, with the number of boats they're building each day, there's a need, of course, for more employees. So they're looking to purchase 903. That is still being worked out, and Jim could talk about that if you'd like. To demo the building that's on that parcel and construct a employee parking lot up to 40 spaces for obviously the employees of the facility. They intend to asphalt that parking lot, since it will be used for employee use, and take advantage of the on-site drainage that's there. The two things that I have mentioned in my staff comments before they get to that point, is before they build, is a final layout for the parking spaces, and then on-site verification that those storm lines and catch basins are connected and go to the proper place. So that's all I have.
All right. So anybody got any questions about this or concerns? This looks pretty straightforward again, too. It looks like they definitely need more parking for their employees from the south of it. So.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, here, it just finally my machine caught up with us. And then, of course, they'll need a soil erosion permit through the Gratiot County Permits Office also.
So this is Jim. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Just a little bit more information on the one that's 903 on the same side of the street. Business is such that we have to have contracted trucking. Those guys can't get inside our gates at night, and currently, sometimes I catch them parking on Jeff Platt's property, on Larry Richards' property. So that'll help kind of keep peace in the neighborhood. And then on the 900, I talked to Larry Richards today. That's all dependent on the demolition of that building. It's contracted. I don't know if they've submitted the permits yet, Eric, but he said it has been contracted. He's waiting on his contractors. So it's hard for me to tell you more about that property until that building comes down and we see the condition of that, the foundation and the floor of that building to tell you what has to be done. So it's all kind of pending, waiting on Larry's demolition guys. He was hoping April. Looks like, well, maybe May, but I can't give you a timeline on this happening. And also, Eric, we know we have to pave our property, 900 Michigan Avenue, along with it. So we'll make that one project. When it's time to do Larry Richards' property, we'll make that all one asphalt project and get it all done. We understand that that's required of that area.
Perfect. Thanks, Jim.
Sounds like you guys are on the move again, or still.
Yeah, again, it's amazing, but yes.
All right, anybody else got questions or comments? All right, with that, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Wheeler will move it.
Support.
We got motion and support. All those in favor of approving this site plan review, give me a thumbs up. And it doesn't look like there's anybody left to oppose it, so it passed unanimously. Thank you. All right.
Thank you all. On behalf of Avalon, we appreciate what the folks in the city and the commission does for us regularly. We appreciate the partnership.
We do as well.
Thanks, John.
Yeah, definitely. All right, let's see, our conditional zoning request. Lori and John Reinhardt have submitted a draft conditional rezoning for 314 through 322 East Center Street to allow the use of outdoor sales of vehicles at that location. This is not allowed within the B1 Central Business District, that can be considered under the conditional rezoning ordinance. Included with the packet are proposed primary and additional use restrictions along with a draft site plan. Review, consider, and set a public hearing. So with that, we'll let Eric fill us in on that too, and then we can discuss it.
Sure. Lori did get me some restrictions and such that we could talk about, both primary and additional. And she did bring on Chuck Griffith as her design person to help her with the site plan. So those are both included. So I do appreciate Lori getting that around for you guys for this meeting, so we can discuss and see what your feelings are, and if it's something that looks good to you, set a public hearing for our next meeting. All the things that we discussed at the last meeting, when we were actually able to meet face to face, I think Lori has covered in her statement of conditions, that the part of the sales will be used for outdoor sales. This will not be a repair facility. Damaged cars will not be stored in sight. Shared parking, and they have to restripe the lot if you look at the site plan proposed to accommodate their tenants to the east, and to allow for 24 cars to be spaced and sellable at any given time. The hours of operation they proposed are from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. for the car sales, and they'll provide a change of use plan to the building official as we work through this process. Underneath the additional restrictions, they were going to utilize the existing light fixtures that are in the parking area. That's what I would do also. They also proposed to provide a green area between the curb and their property line to clean that up along there. I don't know if you've been along there or took a look at that, but that would make that much more attractive along there. Exterior receptacles would be considered behind the building, and that's a great place to put those. And then signage will consist of one unlighted sign for both businesses on front of the building. So those are all doable items, and Lori's here to answer any questions. And I think I can kind of see John there. To answer any questions about those restrictions, and Chuck's on the line to speak to anything that you may have questions on, possibly for the draft site plan.
I have a question, Lori and John. In the parking in front of Sherman-Williams, that little area there, a lot of times the painters that go to Sherman-Williams have their trailer. You know, they're usually parked in there with their truck and trailer. So I'm not really sure if there was customers parked at the Mexican restaurant, how they would get through with the way that the parking lot is set up with their trailer?
Okay, I have spoke with the gentleman from Sherwin-Williams about what we're proposing designing.
Okay.
Basically, he's very much on board with what we have planned. And I don't think that we'll have an issue with that. One of the things we want to try and do is mark out the driveways so that people aren't driving over the curb because it's not marked very well. And as far as El Vaccaro goes, they'll have plenty of parking. Sherwin-Williams is, because we had talked about having parking, and I think Chuck's drawing depicts that, having parking up in front of their store as well as ours with handicap spaces. And
I just know when I drive by there, sometimes they're parked east and west. So that's why I don't know how to drive with a trailer. I know you do. I know how to do that. I do not. So maybe they all know how to drive. I don't know.
And he basically said a lot of the painters and stuff, they will come in with a rig, and he said they may not park according to the way we've got the parking laid out, but he said they're usually only there for 5 or 10 minutes to load up and then they're gone. The one thing that I expressed to him is we're not going to want any parking right up next to the building after hours, in case for, fire lane and stuff like that. So we had 2 parking spots designed, redesigned for handicap parking for them and 2 for us.
I would like to jump in here for a moment. This is Chuck. When we laid out this parking lot, we maintained at least 24-foot aisleways. Most of them are 25-foot. The probably the most restrictive turn is going to be from the paint stores turning going to the east along the front of El Vaccaro, but there's still both 24-foot aisleways, and on a lot of the city streets, 24-foot is all we can expect there. So I think that turning even a trailer would be very accommodatable.
Okay, on paper it just looks small. Just asking.
That's quite all right.
I don't want one of John and Lori's cars to get crunched or my car at the Mexican restaurant. That's all. I'm sure they know what they're doing when they're driving a trailer.
I think I could get my truck and trailer through there with 24 foot. I think I could.
Thank you.
Mine. Yep.
I think the green area you're proposing is a real big plus there. I don't know if everybody has seen it. I mean, how many times people miss the drive there because it all looks like one big drive and they just go over the curb. So that'll be really nice to offset everything in the area. Thank you for that.
You bet.
And
I think it looks pretty good.
Yep, Michelle, just so you know, that 24-foot is our distance that we would require for a parking lot for maneuvering lanes. So that does meet our ordinance.
Good.
All right. Anybody else got any questions or anything for?
Just one thing, since you're planting grass out there, is that going to be irrigated? I just worry if you try and plant grass and you don't irrigate it, you might wind up with nothing but weeds.
Well, we're not going to run water out to it, but we might be carrying, water to it. And I don't know. We're not sure if we're going to do grass yet or if we're going to do some lower shrubs or smaller trees or something like that. But we want to do something to break it up so that people realize where the driveway is. Plus, we're hoping with Chuck's layout that we'll be able to easily map out the driveways. But we're going to, trust me, we're not going to put grass in there and let it burn up.
Sounds like a good idea.
If you go down East Center Street, there's grass in those areas on both to the west of them and to the north of them. So this has been there a long time as just all asphalt.
Has anybody else got anything they want to add or about the conditional zoning? Any other concerns or restrictions or anything you want to put in there, or does it look pretty good?
I would like to add that the curb cuts shown on that site plan are existing curb cuts. There would not be any necessity in tearing up the street.
Now that you mentioned that, Chuck, how many curb cuts are actually there?
The curb cut shown, there's one to the west, within just a few feet of the building to the west, one kind of centrally located, and then another to the east. There's also a curb cut that goes directly to the east on what would be an extension of Pine Avenue.
Right, I thought there was 4.
Yeah, there's one that goes to the street that isn't there.
Yeah, there's 4 ways to access into that area.
More than enough.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it does look like more than enough.
And again, even where the curb is, I've seen people use that one.
Yeah.
Right straight in.
But yeah, that's why I can ask the question. 'Cause people drive in.
Sometimes not planned.
I'm one of them.
I'm another one.
It's hard to see.
All right, so do we want
Be a
to,
definite improvement though, so thank you.
so do we want to set the public hearing? Is everybody okay with what
I'll
we got
move we
so
set the
far?
public hearing.
All right, got a motion
Support.
and support to set the public hearing. Is next month's meeting okay, Eric, for that?
Yep. That'll work.
All right, so we'll all those in favor of setting the public hearing for our next meeting, which Eric will give us the date, and
It is June 7th.
all right.
Will that
all
be a
those-
Zoom?
I'm going to say probably yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
All right, with that, all those in favor, thumbs up. It looks like we got unanimous. All right, thank you everybody for that. So we'll have a public hearing on the 5th of June, right? 2021.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And with that, we were gonna skip the last one. So we got anything else, Eric, before we sign off?
No, I'm sorry, we're back at Zoom again, and hopefully in a couple months we can get back to face-to-face. Yeah, we do have some more projects coming in that I haven't received yet, but I've been told that we should have a couple, some larger projects again to review for site plans here soon. And again, I apologize. That's fine pulling off the sign thing for tonight. It was one heck of a week last week, and I apologize for getting that out to everybody on a Sunday morning. So I apologize, and thanks for working with me today.
All right,
Looked
I
at my
think we
phone
handled
yesterday,
it.
so I didn't see it until this morning. I tried to read through all this during the day and certainly didn't get to the sign ordinance.
Yeah, there's a lot of red lines in that, isn't there, Greg? So, all right, with that, we don't have anything else. We'll take Jim's standard. All right, now he needs a second. We got a second. So with that, we'll adjourn the meeting. Thank you all.
Okay, thank you.
Eric
Have a
and
good night,
Matt,
everyone.
can you stay on for a
Night.
second?
What's
Eric and
that?
Matt.
Oh,
Sure.